Next time I'll make these numbers a little smaller. Okay. Okay. So I guess just to sum up then, the next part, the bottom part of the financial report is the details. We've spent, I think that's $160,000 or so in project management since 2002. Just shy of $60,000 in engineering or in planning. That's mostly the environmental coordination, documentation, participation in putting the plan together for the agreement. Engineering, again, there's coastal coordination, geotechnical coordination. So all of those fall in that. And then we've got the two contracts. $70,000 for the environmental documentation and $733,000 for the geotechnical investigation that we're trying to go forward with. And with that, so we've obligated just over $1.1 million.
So thank you, Darrell, and I'll conclude with this. You know, our commitment, we were kind of thinking through this last night with some others. Our commitment is to the sponsor, but more importantly, our commitment is to the nation that we're going to do right by this project. Not one that necessarily predetermines an outcome, not one that, but one that necessarily follows the process, follows the law, and seeks to find that balance that I described up front that the Corps of Engineers is required to achieve. I'm excited about where this project could go, and I told you my personal and professional interest. Well, when you think about a project that pulls salt water, converts it into potable water, that does it in a way that potentially lessens the impacts and creates opportunities for restoration in your local creeks and the good things that could come from that. And then, oh, by the way, we're going to slap in a little solar along the way. The opportunities for sustainability, I believe, create a vision for what the nation is seeking in its resource solutions. So I'm very excited about that. I know you all are too. And with that, I'd welcome any questions, comments, or otherwise.
Thank you, Colonel Magnus and Darrell Buxton, very much. While you were giving your very, very good presentation, my voice came back, so it's remarkable. I have 4 requests to speak, and as I indicated at the beginning of the meeting before Colonel Magnus took the floor, he is on a very compressed time schedule. He does have to catch a flight from San Luis Obispo to Phoenix. So as I call you, please come up, and if you have a comment to make, that's great, but please keep it as short as you possibly can. And if you have a question, let's hear it, and we'll have Colonel Magnus or a member from his team respond. The first request to speak is from Mike Dill. And Mike will be followed by Mike Willis.
Good morning. My name is Mike Dill. I live in Paso Robles, and I'm the Vice President of the United Lot Owners of Cambria. And on behalf of the 660-plus families that own property here, we would like to thank the board for moving forward with this project. Thank Lois Capps and her office for all the hard work, and finally to thank the Army Corps and the General for taking on such a great project. A few years ago, the majority of this public voted in favor of a desal plant, and it will help revitalize this community. It will provide much-needed fire protection, environmental protection, and help the Cambria prosper into the near future. The moratorium has gone on long enough. This month is the ninth year anniversary of the moratorium and putting our lives on hold. Please complete this project for the good of all. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your comments. Mike Willis, followed by Jim Ensley.
Yes, my wife and I are 21-year residents of Cambria, and we want to just make it known to the board that we support what's going on in the relation to the desal plan and the lot reduction, and we are, one of many Cambrians that support what's going on. So anyway, thank you.
Thank you very much. Jim Ensley, followed by Tim Spencer. Jim Spencer, I'm sorry.
I just have a quick comment to make that while there are over 600 individuals' lives put on hold in order to come and live here, there are 3,900 residents here whose lives are also impacted by the hold off of this plant. And so we really appreciate your efforts and everything you've done, and look forward to a quick resolution to this matter. Thank you.
Thank you. Jim Spencer, followed by Michael Thompson.
Thank you. I live in Pasadena. I happen to be an architect. So I do have one question immediately. Have you, given the implosion in our industry, in the construction industry, have you taken into account the cost reductions that seem to be occurring now? Since 2006 was the year that the last estimate was made, there's been a dramatic reduction in bid prices.
Colonel?
No, and that's a great point. I would tell you, though, that those types of cost implications are not consistent in every component of the construction industry. And it's interesting to see in niche areas where, sometimes there are not a lot of competitors, you don't necessarily get the economic pressures to bring costs down. I'm not sure exactly when our last estimate was done, but we are continuously looking at this, and certainly as we get into the next phase, ultimately the outcome would be an appropriate cost estimate. But your point is well taken.
Thank you. Then I had, I'm a lot owner. I have a third of an acre lot. About 2003, I had the lot surveyed and located all the trees, had diseased trees removed, and I happen to have the survey. And at that time, there were 49 pine trees on my lot, a tiny little grove, in addition to 31 live oaks. Last year, just about this time last year, I went out with my survey and located all the stumps of the trees that have either died or blown down or have since been cut off. And 21 pines have been removed, leaving only 28. So it's about 40% of the Monterey pines, my property, have died. I got to wondering whether this was global warming or the drought or the beetle, or maybe it's just simply because too much water is being drawn out of the water table and it's causing this forest, which is a signature of Cambria, to die off. And then the question occurred to me that as this continues, especially as you build larger storage tanks, thereby having to draw more water out of the water table to keep them filled, aren't you really creating the conditions for the kind of firestorms that we've had up along the coast in the last 18 months? We had the gigantic fire up in Big Sur, and then the amazing fire in Santa Barbara that occurred in the spring, when fires aren't supposed to occur. And then we had the station fire near where I live, which was virtually unstoppable and occurred at a time when there were no winds at all. But just the constant desiccation of the groundwater table, seeking water to drink and taking away the water from the forest, which is what made this community. Anyway, I think the desalination plant will help a lot in reversing that. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Michael Thompson, followed by Mary Webb. By the way, I'm taking these in the order in which they've been given to me, so if we run out of time